everyone. Just we had to change some plan. So our earlier entrepreneur whom we decided could not join us. So we have Madhavi Rao today. Hi.
Hi, Gautami.
So uh, okay, our connection issues are now sorted. So thanks for joining on a short notice. So I would begin with the introduction of TriumphPro and Dr. Madhavi Garu. So on a short notice, she was able to join us. So thank you, Madhavi Garu. And to tell all our followers about TriumphPro. So TriumphPro is providing sports and other kind of wellness to schools. And Madhavi Garu has been in this industry for more than 9 years, and she strongly believes in holistic well-being, and she herself is into a lot of physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. So, in her words, so Madhavi Garu, tell us your how this idea started of trying.
For every mother, the you can say the necessity makes us invent new things. So for me and my husband, the necessity of making our children active and show little interest towards sports and fitness and well-being, that's where it all started. Though we were able to put them in the best of the academies and institutions and schools to inculcate the habit of leading a healthy life, it was actually going the other way. That is when we were surprised, like how come in the western countries children are able to inculcate these you can say sports as a integrated program into the schools, and how come it is not adapted in India, though we are academically if not the best in the world but on par with the world's best institutions. But when it comes to sports and physical education, we are kind of generations behind. So that is when we needed to explore and understand. And then we came to know that there is something called physical literacy, which most of the western countries take it up as academic literacy, just like how they start at a very young age to read, how to read and write. At the same time, they do physical literacy, which teaches them how to manage their own body, how to kind of take care of it, what are the do's and don'ts with it. That includes eating right and also movement, different movement act, skills. All these was like pretty new, though I was married and had children, but I started learning like a child the physical literacy at that age. So then I made that as my career, and we are into pharmaceutical business. My husband runs a bulk drug manufacturing unit, and he was very keen on starting something, and because of time constraint, he put the entire responsibility on my shoulders of running the organization. Then I became an entrepreneur that way. So we had a long journey. Triumph has been there since 9 years, almost a decade. We've been serving more than 255 schools across both Telugu speaking states, and also worked with government schools and tribal welfare, social welfare departments. We did our best in terms of reaching out to the maximum number of children and make them physically literate.
That's amazing. Firstly, claps for you for having such an amazing idea and going on for almost a decade. So, firstly, entrepreneurship itself is a very daunting task, I would say. It is an adventurous feat, and also introducing something well known itself is very difficult. And for you to bring like physical literacy, where in India, it is still a challenge, and coming to our South states, also it's a very huge challenge. 10 years ago, what pushed you? Where did you get that fire, that passion, that fearlessness? And if anybody is having an idea, whoever is watching now is having such a scary idea, what would you tell them that the urge is what just to go on?
I think most of the women, especially like even in India, we all have that flair and the talent and you can say the capacity to run businesses. It is there in us. It's like the seed, we have the capacity to sprout and grow into a big tree, provided we have been given the right kind of environment. Just like how seed needs proper amount of moisture, the sunlight, the environment to sprout and grow. Even like let it be men or women, we all need that supporting environment. That environment, it starts from home, and later in the form of our colleagues, or you can say the team, all of them become our environment, and then they support us to grow. So that exactly happened to me. I was fortunate to have the right kind of environment at home who really supported, and then the main important thing was funded. Funding was supported by a pharma company. So that was the advantage we had. With sports is a very expensive, you can say, area to work in. So it needed a lot of capital investment. So as an entrepreneur, though I had that zeal and enthusiasm to take up this, but it's not a one man show. It is a collective effort. It's a collective effort by the family, by the staff, and also some of the, you can say, clients, the schools with whom we are working, they had faith in us, and they had faith in the program we were launching. So though we had given 1 month, 2 months of free trial, like a promotion program for them, but still they trusted. They thought that yes, apart from academics, children are supposed to take up physical education seriously, because physical education is a transformative one. It will transform their life, and this education stays with them for the rest of their life. It's just not something which you will forget once you come out of school. No, once you know how your body functions and what is the right kind of food and the activities you need to perform, and that knowledge stays for them for the rest of their life. So, but to launch that, we had to invest in terms of equipments to lure the children, to get them fascinated by how wonderful different sports are. Unless we give equipment, it's like making a child read and write without actually providing them books.
In a country where academics is still considered very, prioritized over everything, how do you manage to convince your clients that this is as important as that, and you need to prioritize it equally or even more important than academics? How do you do that? What's the challenge there?
It is the biggest challenge. everybody, like, they have the wishful thinking. Every school, let it be principal or the board of the school, they all have the wishful thinking. They all say, oh yeah, children need to be active. The current generation is like screen addict generation, so we need to break it and make them more active. 95% of them, it is all verbally accepted. But when it comes to giving them in school, how much of time they allocate for physical activity, when you see that, it is quite scary. Even the CBSE board says twice a week, 45 minutes of physical education class is enough, which is actually not at all enough.
Very
They need to they need to prioritize and probably include it in the timetable of the school, so that we get more time to teach sports. For that matter, like, even if they don't excel in sport, but at least they will know about their body, and they'll be able to do better in terms of their physical activity. So
growing up,
it's not rosy for us.
definitely.
It's a challenge, and we keep knocking every door, saying that please, like, think again. But sometimes I also feel the life of a principal and the management who's running a school is also difficult, because we've been introduced so many fancy concepts, whether they are useful for the child or not. But parents ask, like, few years ago it was coding. No one knew why coding was introduced in schools, but most of them, like robotics, it's a very fancy thing, but schools were forced to do. When we studied, it was only science labs which existed. Now we have language lab, you have math lab, different things they have to introduce. So now I think after the AI which has been introduced, schools are also thinking twice whether we should introduce or not. But parents are looking for such kind, they think that it is futuristic, and then children have to be prepared, and the schools have to take up. And that is why the sports and physical education, fitness related activities, all of them are taking a back step. Maybe the parents should come forward and say, no, please, for us, fitness is important, and the knowledge to, like, it's like you have a mobile, and you really don't know how to operate it. It becomes so funny and difficult. So we are born with a body, but we are not, we don't know the user manual. We were never given that. So it becomes very difficult, even as an adult, when I had to learn about physical literacy at the age of 40. It was like mind blowing. Oh, I didn't know till, like, this age, how my body functions, and how my digestive system works, and how preservatives impact that. So none of it was known. Though I was a master, like, I completed my masters, and then was also working for my PhD. So all of it was happening on academic front, but still I was an illiterate when it came to physical literacy. So then I think parents should prioritize this.
It's amazing that at around 40 you were still, trying to learn and all that stuff. Like when I was growing up in our school, we had PT as one period in a week, and that was optional. You can sit and just chill. And I along with a lot of my friends, we are suffering the consequences of not being physically active. When, like you mentioned, more than academics, it's physical, mental, emotional well-being, which is like so very important. So, along with entrepreneurship, I think the topic, the subject, the category that you choose is really very difficult. And where do you find the strength? I mean, apart from your husband being in business as well, it's your journey. So 9 years is definitely a huge time. So I know there's family support and everything, but they will not know all the issues that you go through. You might have to deal with the staff, with the team, with the requests, all these things. So, how do you find that peace? While also, and also there could be moments like, you know what, I just want to give up. I don't want to do it. And also, a lot of the people who want to start business, right? They're looking at the money, they're looking at the popularities, they want to see the success, overnight success. And we see now with social media the rage of like overnight, I just became overnight success. That's it. So, how do you keep that calmness and say that it's 10 years, but I'm still going to go. It's 5 years, I'm still going to go. What do you do?
As you said, every Monday I think, oh, do I need to do this? It is such a struggle. It pops up. I mean, those thoughts, they come. But I don't do anything about it. I don't say, oh no, I shouldn't think about it. Oh my God, it is such a horrible thing. Or, okay, I'm getting these thoughts, so should I surrender to these thoughts? I don't do any of those things. They keep coming, but there's something called your agenda. So when you have that in place, and you become like a machine. Okay, Monday morning, these are the schools you need to visit, and this is the presentation which you have to do, and each meeting has this many minutes. So that probably shifts my mood, and I'm again back on track. So we're all humans. Nothing comes easy to us, and though we dream of it, though we aspire to achieve it, uh, the only thing what kept me alive was discipline. Like whether I like it or not, when I made a commitment that I am going to go for a presentation on whatever committed date, I will honor that. That keeps me like on track. And the other part is like yes, it is very disappointing for us. Success rate is when we make like say 100 school visits, 5% is the conversion ratio for us. So 5 say yes. So for that, it's a huge struggle. Sometimes it is very irritating, disappointing. You feel like telling, oh my God, don't you understand how important this is? You're so lame. Though you're educated, you don't you feel like shouting, but we don't do that. That's all part of life. And lot of times being in that kind of environment where I am not the only one who's struggling, the peer group, if you have couple of entrepreneur friends who also are going through some struggles, and you share, and then we all feel that okay, we are all in the same boat. So that happened, it's not just women alone, even my fellow classmates,
Okay, I can't.
they
Yeah. So,
also were like expressing what struggles they face. So when we share with each other, then the strength automatically builds within you.
okay. So, also, do you think being a woman actually shifts the dynamics of entrepreneur? Is it like the same struggles, or being a woman, sometimes it becomes when you're pitching, the way people are looking at you, the clients, that they are trusting with the investment that they have to put in? Because, like you said, your business is a heavy capital. At the same time, it's also a heavy price. Also, it's not like a every other product that you have to sell. So, do you think your clients or people or investors or anyone, the perspective changes because you're a woman?
It does. More than our other people looking at me, initially for me, the struggle was within. Uh, See, I had to travel outstation. I had to leave my young children behind. As a mother, you start questioning yourself. Sometimes, that guilt. Am I doing the right thing? I'm just leaving them, on their own, and then not taking care of the family well. Am I being a good wife? Am I being a good mother? Or am I a mean woman? For me, is business is the only importance? Or, am I running behind making money? These doubts, they keep coming, and then the struggle was like, there it was most. The outside people accept you if you are very confident, and if you know what you're talking about, and if you know how to deliver your service, or if you know how to actually make other people utilize your products, then I think there is a huge shift in the society now. People do accept us and our services,
Okay.
but our confidence is the biggest challenge. First of all, we have to be mentally firm and prepared, and we should have that clarity that there is a time for everything. Okay, this is your family time, this is your me time, this is your business time, and you're able to make a balance in that. Sometimes balance is very very difficult, though it is a very interesting word actually. Balance, we can never balance. The only thing what we can do is prioritize. For me at this minute, you have meetings lined up, but your child is sick. So what is your priority there? So then you choose that. That is what happens in a woman's life. I mean, that's what I went through. And to some extent, we need to have not just ourselves, but you need to build support systems. Sometimes you have to take support of your children, sometimes you have to take support of your husband, and if it is a joint family structure, then the other people in the joint family. When you make them as your pillars of strength and support system, then outside world it becomes easy. You will be able to honor your commitments better.
Okay. So, also, like for someone who is starting with a business, do you think they should be equipped with enough knowledge, or you will learn on the go? Like for you, this was a new concept. It was not like you were into fitness, you were a fitness freak or a coach or something like that. So when you got this idea, first of all, how did you know that this is the idea? Because along with this, you must have thought of so many other things. How did you stick that this is what my instinct or my gut feeling is? And then I want to do certain certifications or feel confident enough before I launch this, or I don't know, I'm going to go just start and go with the flow and learn as it comes.
It was initially I had to take up a course and understand that, and it was luckily an online one. After that, because it was interesting, then I had to go and take it up and learn before I started it. Because learning is different from taking making it as a business, as a profession. Because here you will be enrolling the clients, you will be selling it as a service or a product. So unless you know what you are selling completely, uh, it makes no sense. So for me, I had to learn. I spent more than a year understanding how to prepare curriculums. Though we know how to play badminton like a hobby, but when it comes to teaching children badminton in a fun way, it's a different ballgame. So I had to learn a little about child behavioral science, child learning techniques, child psychology, and also understand how you can incorporate fun into every activity. Though play comes naturally to children, you shouldn't actually. It's required to teach them how to have fun or how to play. But unfortunately, game rules are very rigid, and each game rule is different from the other. So when you're teaching multi sports, first I had to have that clarity. I needed to understand for kindergarten children how we have to teach, for primary school children how we have to teach, for high school children, each age group of children, like they vary when it comes to learning. So I had to learn that first, and yes, I could master it while running the business, but without learning I probably wouldn't have done a good job.
And like you mentioned earlier about balance, like with a job, right? I won't say it is 9 to 5 because I've been IT employee myself, so there is no 9 to 5. But at least when you come home, maybe after an hour or something, you can turn it off. But I don't know if the mind of an entrepreneur turns off when they get into home, saying that, okay, I'm going to forget about the clients or these calls, these meetings. And that too, when you're married, when you have kids, how do you jumble across all of this without messing up?
There is a very thin line between, like, you want that deal to crack, okay, you want to make that happen, but if you think that if that deal doesn't happen, then I'm not going to survive, that desperation, that do or die type of a feeling, that brings in stress. Whether I sign that deal or not, whether we crack that deal or not, I am going to be contentful. I have given my best. I gave the best presentation when it comes to commercials. I gave the best possible deal for them. Now it's up to them. If they take it, we both will be on the same page. Otherwise, we will part ways. They will go their way, and I'm going to search for another one. This balance, and sometimes, like, free of that uh, uh, that fear, if I lose the client, then I'm not going to grow. That, if we could give, sometimes you can even call that greed. So if you drop that, then there is no tension, no pressure. Even during your family time, you have to, or if I have to make that call and then say, ki, okay, I've given you the costing. So even if they say no, I'm still going to accept it with a smile and say, ki, I wish you all the best. Hope you find a better program than ours. That actually kept me going. That didn't bring stress into my life.
What, according to you, is your mantra or top three things that you need to have to keep going in the beginning?
First of all, we need to have a plan, a roadmap. Okay, what is the turnover you are targeting it? And to reach that turnover, how many doors you have to knock, or how many visits, or how much turnover you have to do? And to achieve that, what plans, like break it down into monthly, weekly, daily plans. So that road structure is a must for every entrepreneur. Without that, we won't know in which direction we are going. It happened to me, so then I learned it the hard way. Now I'm like, that's my mantra. I have to have that roadmap, and I follow that. And the second part is, people are our biggest assets. So the team you're going to work with, make sure that you're all aligned, and you're all have the same drive, same commitment levels, and complement each other. Spend a lot of time in choosing the team, nurturing the team, and bringing them onto the same page. That's the second mantra for my entrepreneur journey. And the third one is, probably have that contentment. Yes, we do have targets, but if you do not achieve, don't undermine yourself and then think that you were not good enough or your team was not good enough, and don't take that stress. Alter the, how sportsmen, when they fail, they don't say they failed, they say their strategy failed. Like, like uh, like sports stars, you can take any sports star, they will have ups and downs in their career, but how they keep going is, they don't label themselves the minute they fail or they don't perform in one match. They don't think that they have failed. They think, okay, fine, this time my practice was not enough. My strategies were not good enough. So I'm going to change it. So I'm going to practice more, or I'm going to try these. I'm going to watch my game again. Where I am going wrong, I will correct it and then prepare for it. That I have learned in my profession, be like, have that athletic attitude, when it comes to handling the failure. So, or even success. You don't let that get onto your head. So both success and failures, take it as like, okay, we made the plan, we have achieved it, and then now we're going to go to the next level. So that is the third mantra for me to have a happy entrepreneurship.
Amazing mantras. I think I myself have a lot to learn from what you're sharing. And also, Triumph is not only about physical wellness, it's also about mental and emotional health, also, which is seriously very surprising to see because even me, in the last 5 years only, I've learned about mental health. So that's another Everest for you to climb. How do you do that? How do you make someone understand that and stress the importance and significance of that?
The as we are changing, the whole world is changing, and there'll be like times when we feel that Indians are spiritual, so we have still got the joint family structures where we have emotional support and we really are balanced. These are all breaking now. Now most of the Indian families are nuclear families. The support systems when it comes to emotional well-being and mental well-being um, are also like you can say just like Western countries, are now being the scary parts of our lives. Uh, we never knew that children will have stress during their school age, but now they do have. They have a lot of stress, academic pressure, and especially performance wise, they are judged, their marks, and every time their assessments are done, they are evaluated on the basis of their mental capacities. So it is quite stressful for them. And no one knew there are terms like depression, anxiety, in children's life. It is there. So, though it is uncomfortable, but we have to accept it because that's how it is now. Whether we like it or not, that's how the systems are, and children are growing in that environment, so they are also exposed to these. So it is better, the sooner we accept, the better it is for us. So for us, the journey we started with physical fitness, but when we saw that there are so many stress contributing factors in school environment, we are doing our best in terms of adding fun or sometimes personal best. We don't ask them to compare themselves with others, but you do your best and you compare your earlier scores with current scores. So that makes a child, okay, fine. I'm not bad. So if I want to improve, this is how, in this direction, I have to progress. So we, in that way, contributed to reduce their stress levels and probably contributed for a happy childhood for them. And um, I request, my request to all the parents and the uh, people who are in the school, business, um, to give little more importance to their mental well-being. So, which they think is not very significant. It's just a lame reason, they're trying to escape or try to get attention when they want to get whatever they desire as an attention. If they don't get it, they play these tricks. No, it is not always right. It's not that way always. So for we have to give them time, and if they say they are not okay, they're experiencing some anxiety and they're experiencing stress, it is our responsibility to lend an ear and understand. And if they need support, we should not hesitate. It is a taboo still, like going to counselors or psychiatrists and all is still not accepted. But times have changed. We have to accept it.
I'm just wondering where was Triumph when I was growing up? Why didn't I have it? I'm just jealous about
Even
it.
I felt the same way. Oh my God. I mean, we had to learn this from a US organization. We have a partnership with a US based firm, and then we brought it to India because it's a completely researched program, and we didn't want to do the research all over again. They have invented it. Why reinvent the wheel? So we brought it to India, and then all we did was change it to suit Indian schools, Indian children, to their capacity, because the children fitness levels are much more than Indian children. So we had to just simplify them, and we're implementing it. And when we saw that it is a must for children, then we also felt, isn't it a must for a grown up, for adults? So the initially we started Triumph PE, which is Triumph Physical Education. Then 2 months ago we have launched Pro, Triumph Pro, Pro, which is for professionals. So
Wow. I was just
uh,
going to ask that, okay, we have lost the fun, but is there any way even adults can,
same
now get back into the zone? Yeah.
same
Some,
thing, like people who miss the bus and like during their school times can now have it, but currently we are now planning to do it with corporates, because corporates are like employing large number of people, and the employees spend most of their active time in the offices. So we are going to take the play areas, the gyms, the you can say fitness workout environments to their workplace.
it's,
So we're going to
it's
do
amazing.
we are going to do daily on-site fitness programs, just like how we go to schools and conduct their physical education classes, based upon the timetable given to us by the school management. We are now launched a program for corporates, where we go to their work premise and then set up a workout routine for them. So during their working hours, whenever it is possible for them, they can come for a half an hour, 45 minute or 1 hour, depending upon their interest levels. They can come and take the fitness sessions and then go back to their desk and complete their work.
Yeah,
So that's
making
what
it
we are
very accessible to them instead of searching, creating a plan and everything.
doing.
So you have a very clear vision, you have clarity of thought, and I, being an entrepreneur myself, in the last 3 years, I've had faced a lot of challenges, mainly when it comes to staffing, getting the right team, and there's nobody to guide. And no matter how many profiles you get, it's not easy to assess them. And then once you hire, also, you're going to have so many issues. What was your secret of team building and for the people who want to start business, especially which are team based? Because I don't think Triumph can run, it's not a one man or one woman show. You will definitely need a team that solidly supports you. So, how did you find this team and make sure these are the people or these are not the people? How could you make that choice?
It is actually the most difficult part, finding the team, I mean the right team. So as I said, human resource, but humans are not resources, they are humans. So the biggest challenge we are facing, not faced in past, we are still facing, is getting the staff. For us, for Pro, when we were trying to recruit fitness trainers for the Pro, we've interviewed 200 candidates. And to get 200 profiles itself was difficult. But out of 200, we could hire only three. That is the kind of gap we have. I mean,
I don't
uh,
know where you find the strength, the patience. I'm like, this is
we,
a daunting task that
we we
you have
had to
taken upon
postpone
yourself.
we had to postpone our launches. We had to postpone our in schools, tying up with the school, cracking the deal is the biggest challenge. But in corporates it's the other way. They are showing lot of interest. Most of the companies, I mean, not just IT, banking, finance, even pharma, I mean, some of the largest manufacturing units, they all want to do employee wellness. But the trainers, they all, like, their first of all knowledge levels are very very weak. So they don't understand how a male human anatomy works versus how female anatomy is different. Because for them, fitness trainer, everyone thinks that you need to have a treadmill, you need to have a gym environment. No, that doesn't work for a female. We would like to have maybe a dance based workout or a pilates kind of a workout or maybe yoga. But for them, it doesn't, like, they don't relate to it. So uh, for a trainer to become trainable for unisex is a challenge. And their knowledge levels to understand, like, different muscle groups, different joints, and understanding their personal health targets. We may be, like, when you look at a person who's obese, we may find that, okay, the easiest and the um, most important thing for them to do is lose their weight. But for them, that may not be the target. They may be suffering with, I don't fall asleep at all. I have difficulty falling asleep. If I can sleep comfortably, probably my weight will go on its own. Because when they don't sleep, insomnia also causes obesity. I mean, it also adds up to their, metabolism, like they won't be able to digest. So the cortisol's level will be high. So for them to just sleep is the easiest thing. But they don't fall asleep. So we have to design some workouts or some activities or maybe do some kind of yoga programs which will make them, like, relax, experience that relaxation and then fall asleep. These ideas are very new in India. And though they all started, I mean, our ancient scriptures and the philosophies, they were into this, but we somehow missed that lifestyle. So that Sanatani kind of lifestyle, we lost it. Now we have to bring it back. So that's what we are trying to do, and that's what we are hoping to teach the trainers who have that open mind to learn, which is again a challenge. So finding manpower is like finding the right spouse.
And also, like you had been talking, we have been talking about health, and your business is all about health. Now, I feel like entrepreneurs have a lot of stress, and also they find it very challenging to take care of their health because, okay, they want to maybe go for this workout or something, but there are meetings after meeting, then you have to take care of the home. I know we have to prioritize our health, which I also find it extremely difficult unless there is a sickness slapping on my face saying that it's time that you rest now. How was it for you? Were you always focused that
Same.
no, I'll take care of my health? Or
Same challenge. Even now, I have the same challenge. Um, I have the biggest sweet tooth. I don't want to eat sweets, but the minute we see, we get tempted, and the kind of nightlife Hyderabadis have, we only, like, complete our dinners, or when we go out for parties, we keep eating till 10, 11, 12 p.m. Like, very late hours. So we know mentally it's not a good thing. We should complete all our solid meals before 7, but none of us stick to it. But there is a way to balance. Don't overdo it. I mean, maybe once in a month, twice in a month, or maybe once in a week is okay. That's the maximum. The rest of the times, you need to have like a support system, like someone who's going to say, ki, okay, how many cheat days you had? Okay, what are you going to do about it? Okay, we don't go to guilt mode. Okay, I'm such a useless person. I'm such a waste. I don't have any, like, discipline. Though I make a plan, I never stick to it. Don't go into too much of guilt mode. Okay, fine. You couldn't, but now what is that you want to do? And revise your plans and then keep coming back. Okay, we do fall, we do make mistakes, we do go for cheat days, but how quickly we come back on track, that is going to make a difference. And this journey, if you are alone in this, probably it will get boring and we may get derailed very easily. But when you have some friends, then it is easier and then more fun, and you have somebody like a support system to fall back on, that works. So we are also trying to build it in Triumph Pro activities. That's why we want to do group fitness so that each of them will
Have the
uh, yeah.
accountability, a community
So
basically where they
exactly.
all can support each other. That would be amazing. Also, you mentioned friends, and my next question was about friends. I do think friendships are very different for women because I've seen with guys over years, the school friends are still there in their 40s, 50s. It still goes on, but for women, even after school or college, it kind of changes that they are there somewhere. And now, at least, I've seen some women are trying to stay in contact and have some of their buddies together. And also, when I started entrepreneurship, right, a lot of my friends were working or homemakers, so they couldn't understand my challenge. They wanted to support me. I understood that they wanted to support my vision, but they did not know what to say. If I'm saying, I'm facing this staff issue, all they knew was their maid didn't come for that day and they have their house chores to do. So they were like, I do understand that a lot of things are left for you. So how important were these friendships for you? And did your friendships keep changing? How were you able to foster these relationships? And also, I noticed during this time, some of the friendships we had to let go if we have to grow for some reason. So, how was all that for you?
I have two circles. One is personal, the other one is professional. And after marriage, then two more groups added. My spouse's friends, my spouse's relatives. So four circles it became. So like as long as we know how to, like, juggle between these two and not get lost, then we are successful and then we are happy. For me, when I'm emotionally like, I have a lot of baggage, that's the time I go for my personal friends. They know when I call middle of the night or some odd hour, they know that why I have called. So they know what I'm going to speak to them about. So that wavelength is very difficult to get it from a professional friendship or other friendships. So it is a must to have your childhood friends, even if it is one or two. Um, they are like your soulmates.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes they are aware of you more than you know yourself.
true.
Like, you can look at yourself, maybe like, how we look at in the mirror, only one side of ours. The other side, behind this side, that side, we don't know, they know. So it's a must for every like woman to have one or two long lasting
Yeah.
friendships.
So
And
true. I'm also
professionally,
very fortunate to have that kind of friend. And also, you mentioned that your husband wanted to start this, and then he put this idea on you. Was there ever a point during this 9 years where you felt like, you know what, it's your idea, you take it up, I'm done with it, I'm done and
Lots,
done. I
lots
can't
of times.
namaste.
When you have to pay GST, when you have to pay the equipment, I mean, like, bills, then when they tell, okay, you are running, so it's your responsibility to pay such heavy ones. That's the time I feel like, oh my God, why did I take it? Because before this I had very fun, like I was into landscaping, running a nursery, like, plants, beautiful.
Wow.
So that was like very
Joyful
creative but
experience.
satisfying. this
Yeah.
is this is like, we had at one point 340 coaches, and managing them, trying to balance. And also the toughest part is the private school management, like, to win their heart and please them, to serve them, and, like, get a "you've done a good job" kind of a remark is very, very difficult. So I feel that, I mean, I throw those tantrums, we are all humans, but that does I don't keep it for long.
Yeah.
Probably for an hour I crib, and then I say, okay, I have chosen this. So it made so much difference into my life. I mean, I learned, I'm still learning, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to handle myself, my health, my family's health, my, like, extended family's health, and society's health. So I've become a bigger person. So then I say, okay, good, I've taken a good profession. I need to make it shine.
So I know it must be a long time ago, and now you must have heard like a lot of success stories of how Triumph has changed life for a lot of kids and everything. But how was it the first one, winning that first big client? And also, how did it make you feel emotionally, like when they come and say, you know, because of this, our kids have now started this, they have changed this. When someone comes and says, or you come to know that the school was actually not into this. Now that this launched in a year, this is the growth that you have seen. How was it for you?
It was the first year was a biggest challenge, and but there was so much enthusiasm. And I mean, I feel I am not that enthusiastic, because I am now able to understand and judge people. Okay, they will take it, they won't take it, this is a like-minded group, they are not. I have become little judgy. So this judgmental attitude was not there when I started. So, I mean, people call it maturity. That's the positive side of looking at it. That is also called experience. But what experienced people and what mature people do is judge. So that was not there when I started. So for every meeting, I used to go. I used to give my 100%, because I I would think that, okay, this is useful for them, so they will definitely listen to it, and it is my responsibility to make them understand what benefits they will get out of this. So the onus lies like on me. So my presentations, I would not give up. I would be very enthusiastic. Even if I fail in the first meeting, I was shameless to ask for a second appointment. Even if I don't convince them in the second meeting, shamelessly I would ask, okay, why don't you see our demo? Sometimes seeing is believing. Whatever I'm talking, you may not connect to it unless you taste it. So why don't you see our demo? I was so like, I would not drop till, like, I convinced them. That was there, that drive was there, and that helped me achieve more. Slowly, somewhere down the line, the complacency or the judgmental attitude in the form of experience set in me.
Do you think insecurity helps in decision making for entrepreneurs, or do you think it actually
Never,
feeds the fears?
never. It doesn't help us in any way. It actually derails us. The best thing to have is hope and the faith in your program. the faith in our product, ourselves, and whatever service if we want to give it to others, uh, that helps, not
Okay.
in,
Okay.
the insecure others.
Okay. And also, there is a lot of anxiety that comes in for an entrepreneur day in and day out in the beginning days. What are some tips that you would say that would help them to calm down during that process? I mean, I'm not talking about like do these meditations or do these kind of things, but how do, like you said, they should have that faith, right? But it's new for them. Maybe, knowing that, like in your case, you're launching something very new, and there are a lot of businesses which shut down within a year or two. That too, when it's new,
Yeah.
this is a new concept. Schools are not open for it. There is no backing for it or evidence that says this business is going to work. This is the success formula. So, how do you keep going saying that, you know what, it hasn't worked yet, but maybe I'm going to be the next Edison or next whoever, and I'll keep going with this, and I'm going to have that faith. How did you come with that? And how would you say for any new entrepreneur that this is the faith that you need to have? Because sometimes faith could go in a wrong way, and we might end up like also yours is a very huge capital investment also. So there's a lot of
See,
things at
when
stake.
I started 9, 10 years ago, we didn't had so many avenues and support systems existing for the entrepreneurs. Like for women entrepreneurs now, we have the luxury of VHub. VHub does mentoring programs. I think that's where we met, and they are very good. Such kind of places like Fiki, uh, especially when they do some training programs and workshops, they help the women entrepreneurs, and for that matter, any entrepreneur. Uh, we can share our problems with them, and they will, if not give a solution, but they will tell you that you're not alone in this. Okay, one day you will find the solution, and at least we can like reduce the amount of baggage we have on our heads and hearts. So these groups were not there when I started. Now the budding entrepreneurs have the luxury of knocking these doors. T Hub, V Hub, Fiki, and HMA, Hyderabad Marketing Association. All these, they have open doors for mentoring the entrepreneurs and listening to them, helping them. Now a lot of online consultants are also available. Earlier it was not there. It was a lonely journey, and unless you have somebody who's very experienced or uh, similar business line, they wouldn't lend you an ear and they would not help. But now it is not that. There are a lot of support
Okay.
organizations we have. I think they should become part of them. They should connect with these so that the journey becomes easy.
Okay. So what do you see in like in future for Triumph? Where do you see yourself going from here?
We have successfully did it in Telugu states. I mean both Andhra and Telangana. Now we want to go pan India. Take this like a corporate, and I'm taking that training like how to because it's a huge challenge because of the skills, the pan India geography wise. So we need to understand how to run those businesses. So I'm getting trained for that. And once we have that kind of teams set, then we will slowly one first probably cover the south of India, then go to north of India, then west, then east. So that's our future plan.
You said you're learning. I'm like, are you never tired of learning? Don't you feel like, okay, enough? I want to take a break. I want a vacation. Enough is enough. I've struggled for this last 10 years. How do you find yourself like
When I
open for
learn,
learning?
I feel like a child. I feel very happy and nice because I don't measure the outcomes. But when I am on the entrepreneurial seat, when I'm in the director seat, that is when the irritation comes. That's when I want to, enough is enough. I don't want to again go for a meeting and then listen to those sad stories. Everybody, I mean, when they say we don't have, budgets are tight, we don't have money, that's the most irritating reply, but that's what we get more often. So that is irritating, but learning isn't irritating. It is fun. It is like showing like there is hope.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we had a great chat and I think we covered pretty much. And one last question that I would like to have, and on that note, I would like to end this is what is one thing that you would want to suggest to most of the entrepreneurs who are starting out or even running? Like mine is a 3-year-old startup. So, what is that one thing that you would say that says hit your target, you're good, or keep dreaming big, or anything that you want to say for people who are starting up or for people who are already running?
Yes, like how much ever we say, keep your head cool. Uh, Unless your business is running and meeting the targets, financially it is viable, we collapse. I mean, not we, we mean in the sense the business collapses. So it is a must to, meet our targets. The only way where we can challenge ourselves is keep brainstorming. Maybe one way of reaching out to the customer, if that is not working, don't stress and don't keep trying in that method only. Maybe there is another route, maybe there is another diversion, and think of different ways, multiple ways to reach the client. That way, yes, we can crack the targets. That is little, how people say common sense is not very common. Like that, thinking of different ways to reach client and sell the product is challenging. But that's what we should look at.
It was amazing. Thank you so much for all the insights that you have shared, and thank you for joining on a short notice. I'm sure this will be useful for a lot of people, and indirectly, I think you have been breeding a lot of entrepreneurs who are going to listen to this now and in future. You have been, I think, mentoring indirectly from here. So thanks a lot for your time. It was
Thank
nice
you,
having
Madhavi.
you with
Thanks for
us.
having me. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.